And we're live. We are live from Wembley Stadium.
Deval, where's the
What is
glove,
all this?
man?
The glove. I got a Haagen-Dazs glove. Got a
Do you
Haagen-Dazs
remember?
glove.
You know, I still remember when Jackson, when he used to do that thing, he used to go ta 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 ta. He used to tap his thing and like do all of that sort of
Do you know
stuff.
what he was doing? He was the, you know, like how you get the sort of Shaolin monks that do the karate that can paralyze you. He's unparalyzing each part of his body because he'd be like, freeze it. Do you know what I mean? No, I'm bullshitting.
I tell you. Exactly. All right, listen, folks, this is it.
Yep.
We have got the ABC of. No. Shall we try? Let's
Easy
try.
as 1, 2, 3.
Listen, we don't want to be in the closet on this one, but things are going to get dangerous.
They're going to get dangerous. But you know, a couple of smooth criminals are here just to make sure that any danger is overcome. Because it doesn't matter if you're black or white. Do you know what I mean? You all deserve a chance.
And you know what? If that does bother you, you can just beat it.
I'm telling you, because that's too bad if it does.
Don't be dirty. Diana.
Oh my god.
Okay, all right, let's stop. Deval. All right, listen, folks. We've got episode, Deval. This is episode 382.
382. Ow! Okay, I've got a cold, everyone, so I'm going to be sneezing. I'm going to be blowing my nose. Apologies in advance. Yeah,
moonwalking, body locking, body popping, you name it. Deval's doing it all. All right, listen, folks. Episode 382. We've got obviously the main movie that we're going to be speaking about is called Michael, which is the brand new release out in cinemas worldwide right now. So stick around for that. And we've also got another one that we're going to throw in for you. But before we get into that, Devaldo, let's do the shout outs.
Yeah, I've got a couple of shout outs this week. First one goes out to Orange Room Cases. Orange Room Cases, a really good platform on TikTok. They actually go and check out real cases and then discuss them, go into all the nitty gritty about some of the cases that you've heard about. And some of these cases, yeah, they are bad cases. You know, people have lost their lives and all sorts. And you know, but they really go into the sort of true crime world and uncover all the behind the scenes of what, you know, what, why, when, how. So go check out Orange Room Cases on TikTok. Second shout out is also on TikTok, and that's Blevins 456.
Yep.
And Blevins is really looking forward to Evil Dead Burn. Really, and we put out a little post. You know, the trailer came out as well. We'll talk about that.
A little teaser.
But yeah, Evil Dead Burn's looking like it could be a crazy film. I don't know what's going on, but again, we'll talk about it. But Blevins, when it comes out, if you want to come on the show, give us a shout. Give us a shout. Yeah. So big shout outs to those two.
Big shout out. All right, let's get into movie news now. Listen, Deval, it only feels like yesterday, ironically, that we were speaking about Superman, but tomorrow, as in the Man of Tomorrow, has started filming. So where are we with this whole kind of James Gunn Superman revival? Obviously, we know that the Paramount thing is that, you know, they're going to be buying Warner Brothers. That's all kind of going ahead, but we're going to get more Superman stuff, right?
Yeah, we're going to get more Superman stuff. Superman needs a sequel, and Man of Tomorrow begins filming in Atlanta now. So that's probably going to come out, I would say maybe 2020, maybe 2027, 2028, we don't know. But we know that James Gunn is really on the whole sort of DCEU, the timelines, the different, characters, who the enemy is going to be. Are they going to intertwine like how the MCU used to be? Or, from what I understand, they're going to be a bit more, you know, separate. They're not going to be so rigid in how things always have to link on. That way it gives them a bit more space to sort of maneuver. But from what I understand in this one, we're going to get a lot more of the Superman that we were expecting. The first Superman was finding his feet. And now the second Superman, he's got his wings. He's flying. So
he's flying. And they're saying, do you remember, maybe it must have been about a couple of months ago, they put out, or James Gunn put out a teaser. There was Superman and Lex Luthor. They were together. And some people are saying that they could actually begrudgingly teaming up to deal with another villain.
Yeah, the enemy of my enemy is my friend, and from what we
Yep.
understand, it could be Brainiac. Possibly, Brainiac could
Mm,
be the villain of the next Superman. And Brainiac, if you haven't heard of him,
next level.
he's mad brainy. He's like just he's an alien.
Mm,
And if if Lex Luthor thinks he's clever, wait till Brainiac comes along, and yeah,
yeah.
Superman and Lex Luthor have to team up.
Exactly. Interesting. So we'll see what happens with that one, and obviously we'll keep you all posted on the new stuff coming out. Let's speak about this, Devaldo. So Elden Ring. Now, yeah, Elden Ring. I never played. To be honest with you, I never played Elden Ring. It wasn't one of the kind of ones that I was that keen on. But that's not to say they won't make a cracking, movie out of this. But what I'm liking though is the fact that Alex Garland is connected to this. So he's a great filmmaker. He's a great writer as well. So tell us about this.
Yeah, so I mean, Elden Ring's a massive game. I think this is.
Mm,
I'm not sure if it's more of a PC game or sort of console game, but in the
yeah.
gaming world, it's massive. It's a massive RPG game, role playing adventure game, fantasy. It's about a banished adventurer, the Tarnished, who returns to the ruined lands between. And, you got all kinds of creatures, monsters, massive swords, massive weapons.
Mm.
So, from what we understand, this
Almost
film is going to be.
witchery, right?
Yeah, kind of exactly. Yeah, so people love those kind of games. This is going to be coming out in March 2028. Alex Garland, A24. I mean, need we say
Mm,
more? And I even thought Alex
mm.
Garland was done directing, but obviously not.
No.
So if someone's brought him back out to direct, A24 have done that with this massive franchise. This is going to be massive. I mean, yeah,
Huge.
we know about
Huge.
gaming. Gaming's worth more than movies and music put together. And
Yeah.
if that audience comes onto the into the cinemas, it's going to make money.
Yeah. Now, where did you? So going back a little bit, but where did you land on Witcher? Because we know that Henry Cavill he departed. One of the Hemsworth brothers came on, and
Yeah,
Deval. I think I've missed like about 2 seasons.
I've only watched the first season.
Mm, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I left it alone.
Yeah,
I left
I
it
don't know
alone.
what happened with all that kind of universe, but yeah, if they can do something good out of this, then yeah. And I mean, Alex Garland is a great director. Now, this is hot off the press. Literally, before we started recording this episode, we were kind of just doing a bit of reading, and this just popped up in the news feed. This is mad, right? And it looks like as if this is probably correct, Deval, because the big
Uh,
publications are reporting on this. Gen V, Deval, what's the news here?
yeah, Gen V has officially been cancelled after season two,
Mad.
and it means that I don't know why. Maybe the characters, the actors have got other projects they want to do. Maybe
Mm,
with the boys coming to an end, it seems like a natural ending for Gen V as well. What we do know is that the characters in Gen V, they will live on. Their stories will be told in other projects. So we
mm,
know that there's going to be a spin-off of Soldier Boy and his story and stuff. But
yeah.
is that going to be a prequel back in the day? I mean, I don't know, but yeah, we'll see. But either way, some of those characters you will see in other projects. So imagine that the sort of the boys universe will continue.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was good. I really liked Gen V actually. It
Mm,
was kind of darker and crazier and a lot of shit going on.
yeah,
Godolkin University and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, we'll see. What a name,
exactly.
Godolkin.
I
What a
know.
name, right? What a mad. So yeah, we'll see what happens. And remember, look, we're still watching The Boys. It hasn't,
Mm.
obviously we haven't seen the finale yet. We don't know what's going on. I'm pretty sure those Gen V characters will pop up in there somewhere. So we will keep an eye on that one. All right, let's do new on streaming. Yeah, Devout. I saw this pop up on the Disney Plus feed. Darth Maul, Shadow Lord. Now I know he's such a people love this character because there's so
Mhm.
many layers to him, and what we saw in the movies is nothing compared to what we get in animation.
Nothing. Animation, I think Star Wars animation is so good. Clone Wars,
Mm,
Rebels. I mean, but this, I've only just started watching this, and
mm,
this does seem good. So I can barely talk. It does seem good. It does seem like they've captured the essence of
mm.
Darth Maul was one of the characters that people were so upset with when he died in
I know. It's
Phantom Menace.
It's
Like
almost like as if like he needs a show. Do you know that? So
you
before
need.
the events of that, find out what his origin story is.
Thank you, thank you. So and that actor Ray Park, he's from down the road
Yeah,
from where it's a London guy,
yeah.
and the music, Duel of the
Oh,
Fates, all of that. I mean, so this is going
iconic.
to give you something a bit more. I'm not sure if it's going to give you exactly what you want, but I think it's
Mm.
interesting. I think it's worth checking out on Disney Plus.
All right, okay, go check that out, folks. And there's other stuff on new and streaming, but we just kind of we haven't had a chance to put everything on. All right, let's do trailers. So we've got quite a few to get through, and if you're hungry, you might want to miss this one because this one's called Hungry. So Deval, speak about this.
Hungry, hungry, hungry. When I say hungry, hungry hippos, what does that mean to you?
Oh God, the game, isn't it?
Yeah, the old school board game, Hungry Hippos. You can press the
Hippo.
hippos, and
That's the
you're eating
game.
all
Yeah,
these balls, and
yeah.
it's this film is about hippos that are basically going out killing people.
Oh
That's what this film's
gosh.
about. And hippos, if you don't know, they have one of the strongest pound for pound bites of any mammal
Oh
on
man.
Earth. Yeah. So their bites, I mean, they kill a lot of people. Even in the,
Mm,
I think in the trailer, I think it mentions that. I think it might mention this, or maybe I'm thinking this, but I know hippos in like certain countries in Africa and stuff like that.
mm.
There's a lot of people that go fishing and stuff, and
And
hippos
they
kill people more than crocodiles.
wow. Come
Yeah,
out of
it's
the
mad.
water. Yeah,
Yeah,
swimming. They
yeah,
love living in the
yeah,
water as well.
exactly. So
Um,
watch out for hippos. Whew.
hang on a second, Devote. This isn't one of those ones. Like how we had Cocaine Bear. There isn't. This isn't one of those ones where I don't know. They're like high on something and then they
Nope,
just go on a
nope.
rampage.
No, it's just out in the wild. You're in my space. I'm hungry. Your legs look nice. They look seasoned. I want some of that. I'm a breast and thigh man. Give me some of that breast and thigh. That's what it is. That's what it is.
Some people are out in the Serengeti and getting eaten alive, man. Seriously,
It's
this is
harsh.
bad.
Yeah, it's mad.
Hungry. All right, go check that one out. Now, listen, Mexico '86. This is football related. I haven't seen the trailer for this one, but I'm assuming this is about World Cup, right?
Yes, this is about the World Cup and how the
Mm,
World Cup came to Mexico in 1986, which was a really,
mm.
really good World Cup. Argentina won the World
Wicked.
Cup. The hand
Yeah.
of God,
Oh,
Maradona. England were upset, and all these. It was a really good World Cup, really hot. And it's got Diego Luna, who we saw him in. What
and
was we saw in the Star Wars show? What was it called again?
yes, Andor.
And Andor, yeah. So Diego Luna, he plays
He's
like
good.
a high flying sort of. He seems like a salesman, but he's some sort of bigwig, or he
Yeah.
becomes a bigwig, and he basically is the person that is maneuvering and getting all these sort of FIFA people and governmental people,
Mm.
putting money in envelopes and stuff like that. You get to see the sort of dirty side of
Yeah.
football and
And
how
probably
it comes to
people
happen.
paying off so that they can get it.
Yeah,
And yeah,
yeah.
man.
Yeah, so this film is it's all in Spanish, and yeah, this film looks like it's going to be interesting. And the World Cup
Yeah.
is this year, 2026, in
It's going to be
America,
big.
Canada, and Mexico.
Mexico.
So yeah,
Yes.
we're bringing it back.
Bringing it back. All right. Okay. Now let's move on to this one. So we kind of mentioned, obviously, with our shout outs, a bit about Evil Dead. So there's a little teaser now. Devaldo, is this still Lee Cronin doing this?
No, no, this is not.
Okay, this isn't Lee Cronin. Okay, because Lee Cronin did Evil Dead Rise, and then after Rise, he went off to do obviously The Mummy, which we spoke about in last week's episode. Go out and listen to that episode. But Evil Dead Burn, I really hope they're making it nasty and gnarly and bloody and gory.
Mm. This is directed by someone called Sebastian Vanieček, and it looks like it could be someone from Eastern Europe, maybe
Mm.
Poland or maybe Slovakia. I don't know. But previous film he did was called Infested. So this person loves a bit of horror. The trailer for this looks crazy. The trailer actually reminds me of some sort of The Last of Us kind of scene. It looks like
Oh,
there's a lady on the floor. She comes to. She's looking around. She's a bit bloodied and all that. Doesn't know where she is, and there's mayhem going on in the background. Someone's getting manhandled, but the person looks like there could be some sort of not a zombie, but they
yeah,
seem like there could be like the Last of Us kind of zombies, the ones that are
yeah,
a bit more they
yeah.
move a lot. So I
Agile
don't
and
know.
mobile.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but she's on the floor. She can't get up. She's crawling around. People are trying to come to her saying, "Save me, save me." They get grabbed by this creature, And yeah, the trailer's like a minute and a half, and it just gives you a taste as to what's coming in July. This looks
Yeah.
like a mad film.
Yeah, it's going to be mad. We're going to watch this because we
Yeah,
watched. I had a good time watching Evil Dead
yeah.
Rise, so this will hopefully be a continuation. So remember, I think Sam Raimi was the producer on that one as well. So I'm pretty sure he's got to be
And this
connected in
one.
some
Yeah, yeah,
way.
yeah, yeah, yeah. He is.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. So we'll watch that, and obviously we'll review it and we'll let you know about it. Go check out the trailer if you see it. Let us know what you think. Now, this next one, I did actually see this trailer. This one is where DC's going dark, and they're focusing on a villain. Which, to be honest with you, I don't know much about this villain, and this is Clayface, and it's very, very kind of, you know. Like A24ish, like if there is a kind of a look, it's kind of like you don't know what's going on. Something's happened to him, and then he gets obviously something happens to his face. It becomes very stretchy, plasticky, and then from that he goes on a killing rampage. I assume.
Yeah, I mean Clayface. This is a DC, a bit of a darker DC character.
Mm,
He's got different origins. One of his origins is Max Hagen, who became the Clayface, I guess you could say, monster when he was put in a radioactive pool of protoplasm, as you do,
mm,
and this gave him the ability to basically shapeshift his face and his
mm,
body and regenerate as well. So he can manipulate his body into weapons. He
wow.
can heal himself. He's got he can also change not just his face but his voice. So he's a bit like Mystique, a shapeshifter in that respect.
Okay.
So a bit of a darker version though. So I'm not sure how this is going to show up in the movie when it comes out. It's coming out this year
Mm,
in October. You know,
wow.
yeah, same year,
Interesting.
same month as Street Fighter. So
So we've got a Clayface coming out. We've got obviously what's the other DC? It's coming out on HBO. It's the
lanterns, yeah.
Lanterns, and then I'm starting to see more and more rumors and talk about Batman 2. That we're starting to kind of get more and more and more. That's probably coming out in the next year or so as well. So we're going to start to see more of the kind of the Batman universe and that kind of Penguin type of universe coming out as well.
Yeah, yeah. It's looking
Interesting,
interesting.
interesting.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right. Okay, go check that one out. Now, this last one is called Leviticus, and Deval, when I think of Leviticus, I think of the drum and bass tune. You know,
Is it?
mm,
Oh, is that what it's called?
that's what it's
I
called,
didn't.
Leviticus.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
God, and heavy. Do you remember
Yeah.
that one? Yeah, that's called
Oh my,
Leviticus.
is
Oh my
it?
gosh,
Oh my
that's called
goodness. Are you
Leviticus.
serious? Big, fat, and heavy.
And heavy. Exactly.
Watch me.
Oh my.
That's
Seriously,
a tune.
Ronaldo,
That's
what
a
a tune!
tune.
So what? So obviously this has got religious connotations, but what's going on over
Yeah.
here?
Yeah, so Leviticus seems like a really, I think it's A24. It might
Oh,
be
it
A24,
sounds like it sounds like a movie they would come up with.
but it's produced by the people that made Talk to Me. And
Okay,
this is about two teenage boys who are gay. Well, I think they're in the closet gay, and they're kind of
right.
exploring their sexuality. Don't
Mm.
really want to come out, but oh my gosh, there's some sort of, I don't know what it is, man.
Demon.
Some
Oh no.
Yeah, like something is.
Gosh.
It looks like this film looks like a mixture between Talk to Me, It Follows,
Oh
and because something's following them in the trailer, you get a sense of something following them and
yeah.
attaching themselves to them. And I don't know what it is, man, but this film just
Um,
looks so good.
yes.
It looks good.
Yes. I
It
know,
looks so
and
good.
there's got to be some meaning behind the fact that it's called Leviticus as well. So I'll have to have a
Yeah,
look and see what the
yeah,
biblical
yeah,
meaning of it
yeah,
is. But yeah,
yeah,
I'll watch the trailer for that one, and yeah, we can speak about that again.
yeah.
So listen, folks, go check out all those trailers. If you do like them, if you do see them, let us know. Tag us at the Flixters, message us. And you can get in touch with us on YouTube, on TikTok, on Instagram. Those are the main stuff that we're on, and yeah, we can carry on the conversation there. All right, listen, let's do anniversary corner. So we plucked one out from 10 years ago, from 2016. Now, there was a bit of controversy around this. And, you know, it's interesting because this movie, Devout, I remember hearing about it. And you know what? I got to say, I didn't actually watch it, but I know more of the background behind it than the actual movie. And that's always kind of sometimes what happens with Hollywood movies. Sometimes the making of stuff is more interesting than the actual movie. But I don't know in this case because I haven't seen the movie. But this is Nina, and it's about the life and times of Nina Simone.
Yeah.
Obviously, African American singer, chart topping success around the globe. And just remind our listeners, what was the controversy?
Yeah, so this again, 2016. This is aged. I mean, it's only 10 years ago, isn't it? But Nina Simone was she was born in 1933, died in 2003. The controversy was that Zoe Saldana, she played her in the film. Zoe Saldana is a African
Latina.
Actress person, and the controversy was that she had to sort of darken her skin tone to play Nina Simone, who's a dark-skinned lady. And I think some people didn't like that and felt like there was other actresses that were of the same complexion, similar look, that could have played her, and felt that she, that the actress, that the Nina Simone wasn't being portrayed in the right light. So
Yeah.
I think they didn't do very well in the box office. Nina Simone
No.
also, because she is a really powerful character, not just music. Remember her tune, Cinnamon. That tune goes on for like 10 minutes. Excellent
I know.
tune.
And she
was
was
very
like an activist as well.
Exactly, activist, politically sound and astute. She even left America because America wasn't right for her, and she wanted to go
Yeah.
somewhere else. And a bit like how Muhammad Ali was, puts up a
Yes.
stance against things that they feel are an injustice. So
Vietnam
because of
War.
that,
Yeah.
people felt more so that she should have been played correctly. So,
Yeah.
but yeah.
It seems like as if kind of they didn't do it justice. I mean, it only made, according to Wikipedia, it's like $22,000. That's incredible.
Yeah,
Of a character like that.
yeah. People really just went against it. Even Zoe Saldana came out and apologized a few years later, saying that it probably shouldn't have happened, and it was a not
A
a good
mistake.
choice. It wasn't obviously in malice, but just not a good choice on reflection. So yeah,
Interesting. And the reason why we put this one on there, because obviously controversy. Actually, what are we doing? Yeah, we're going to do Michael first, right?
yeah.
So, and obviously controversy in that film, and then this next character, this next person, this larger than life person that we know as Michael Jackson. Controversy is obviously, plagued his life as well. And, we can kind of speak a bit about that, but this is the main movie, around the world, I reckon, because Michael Jackson, Devalda, I mean, come on, man, iconic. Not just forget him for a second, but the music. I mean, come on, Devaldo. You know what, man? I was growing up. For me, Michael Jackson, man, was like, this guy was just legendary. Like Billie Jean, Thriller, Smooth Criminal,
Uh,
Beat It,
uh,
Bad.
to this
You know,
day, Thriller
to
is
this day,
still the highest selling album of all time. To this day, still. So
that video, the music video, iconic music
yeah,
videos like Beat It and everything. Like you just seriously, just so many. Don't stop till you get enough. Like those movies.
yeah.
And then that is just him in his solo career. And then even before that, you got the Jackson
Mm,
5, like,
yeah.
all the classic songs that they had is just incredible. So here we are, 2026. We have this biopic directed by Antoine Fuqua, obviously Training Day, Denzel Washington, Oscar winning. He's done the Equalizer movies. We've got the writer on this movie wrote Gladiator. He's
Yeah,
written kind of
John
other.
Logan. Yeah.
He's kind of been nominated for Oscars as well. So for me,
Mm.
behind the scenes, Devaldo, I mean, you got a kind of obviously fantastic people making the movie, and then you got this. Is it? I'm pretty sure it's his debut film, which is Jafar
Jafar
Jackson,
Jackson. I
who's
don't
the
know,
who's the nephew of Michael Jackson.
Mm.
He's Jermaine Jackson's son. And there were moments in the movie Devaldo
Wow, it is his
where
first, It is his first, yeah.
there were moments in the movie where it was just uncanny
Yeah.
how they got the likeness, because because obviously sometimes, like, obviously, yeah, that's his nephew, this is Michael Jackson's nephew, so there's going to be a resemblance, but the way there's looks in the movie that he gives, and I'm like, oh my gosh, man, the spitting image of Michael Jackson when he's up on stage, there's a couple of kind of bits, that I thought, wow, what a energetic performance and everything. So we will get into that in a second. But before we do that, let's get into kind of where we're at in this whole thing. Where does it start off? Who's this kid, Michael Jackson? Who are the Jackson 5, Devaldo? Where do they start off?
Oh man, well, Michael Jackson was born in Indiana. Indiana is actually where stranger things happen, but there's nothing strange about this. And we know that's a bit of horror. We saw Thriller, so maybe a bit of a link there. But yeah, Indiana, that's where they are. That's where they're from. Massive family. Was it 5 boys and 3 girls? And incidentally, is it 3? Yeah, 3 girls. You'll notice that Janet Jackson wasn't anywhere
Jackson
near
wasn't in
this.
it anywhere near it.
From what I hear, there's beef in the family.
Yes. Yeah.
She's having beef with Jermaine Jackson, who was one of their producers of this film, who's the dad of Jafar Jackson. So anyway, I digress. But yeah, that's where the family's from. Joseph. What was his name? Joseph Jackson. Sorry, yeah, Joseph Jackson and Catherine Jackson, mother and father, raised the kids as well as they could. Really, really strict from Joseph Jackson in how he implemented discipline into his boys, who he saw having a talent, especially Michael Jackson, who people just saw him as like, this is a God-given gift. People can sing. Other boys can sing, but he was something else. So knowing that talent, he entered them into competitions, and they got bigger and bigger, got more confident, but he was really, really hard on them. And you'll notice a bit of a pattern there, as with all these successful children. Look at Serena, Venus Williams. Some of their dads, they're really, really tough on them at the point of, okay, we've got to calm down now. But sometimes people will argue that's how you make a legend.
That's how you
can't be half-hearted. So again, that's up for debate. But if the dad wasn't so hard on him, would we have got the Michael Jackson we know today? I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
And you know what I liked about this, in the sense that they didn't shy away from that, because a lot of people say, well, he was a monster.
Yeah,
the dad, the way there's moments in the movie, where he's getting his belt out and not following instructions.
I got the belt when I was young, a few times. It's different times now, so it's time to change. But what I will say is, according to times, we have to change how we do things. But boy, some kids need a belt, man.
I know.
Some of these kids out here rioting, and stabbing each other.
If there was a bit more, maybe a bit more discipline in the household.
Discipline, yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, I mean, I digress. But everyone raises their kids differently. As long as you don't, abuse your kids, that's another story. But you're allowed to be firm on your family to make sure that they're raised right and they don't go out of their home and they're not being, crazy. But anyway, so that's where they are. Family sort of, musically gifted, coming through, and everyone's noticing them. Michael Jackson's really standing out. His voice, the way he moves, and you can see even when they're recording music, he can't keep still.
No,
he can't keep still, and that's part of it. It's part of the magic that he has. His voice. Some people forget that he started in Motown.
Yes.
Motown, where all the soul singers, all the greats. That's where people forget. That's where they started. So
and there's a bit in the movie. There's a bit in the movie where when he's a young kid. By the way, that young kid who plays the young Michael Jackson, he was great as well. The kid, and everyone basically falls in love with the voice because he's kind of got this angelic voice and everything. So there's a bit in the movie where he's watching. I think he's watching Little Richie, or he's watching Smokey Robinson, or one of those guys, and he's kind of like imitating their dance moves and everything.
Yeah.
And even at a young age, Michael Jackson, he had the moves.
Yeah. The feet was shuffling. I think it was James Brown. He was watching the shuffle on the TV. He was like,
it's mad. To do that at that young age, and there's his dad saying to him, "Look, Michael, stop! Don't move." But I guess that was his essence. So it starts off in the 1960s, and then we kind of we move on through the decades and we see that whole kind of thing where they become chart toppers, they become more and more successful, they become, richer. Joseph, he's obviously laying down the law. And I guess at the heart of the movie, Devado, is this relationship between Michael Jackson and the dad, right? He has this throughout the whole movie. It's Michael Jackson trying to then become a solo artist and then kind of come out of the shadow from the Jackson 5 and then do this whole thing.
And I'll say actually that because the relationship between him and the dad obviously has been highlighted. Obviously, I'm sure the dad had relationships with everyone, but Michael Jackson, there were definitely times when the dad just crosses the line. I mean, even like verbally saying, "Oh, you got a big nose." That puts a complex in someone's head. No wonder he got his nose, done. So things like that. Sometimes the abuse that's verbal is sometimes worse than physical.
Yeah,
sometimes.
When I like over the years, obviously, because the Jackson 5 and Michael Jackson's kind of as a story has fascinated me, and the stuff that I've read over the years. I mean, what we saw in the movie is nothing compared to the abuse.
Do you know why that is? Because the family are involved in it. Jermaine Jackson producing, they're not going to show too much of the controversy. Because remember, I mean, I don't want to spoil it if anyone hasn't seen it yet. I'm sure you're going to rush out to go and see it. But this film is 2 hours and change, I think, or maybe just under 2 hours. But it covers 25%.
Yeah,
even of his music, it doesn't cover so much more.
No, absolutely. You know what I mean? It goes from the 60s to kind of, and we end up in London, in Wembley. I
remember that concert. I wasn't there because I lived right around the corner from there, and those days Wembley was a different stadium, so we could hear anything that happened in Wembley. I remember opening my window and hearing Michael Jackson out the window. That's as close as I got. I was like 8 years old, I think, at the time.
I know.
When he was there.
I was 10 years old. It was 1988, and back then, it was the biggest thing. It's like, oh my gosh, Michael Jackson's coming to like London. There's going to be a massive thing. I remember in '88 there was a whole big thing about the Bad music video. They showed it on BBC or whatever it was, and I remember like me and my brothers, we're getting together. We were like, we got to watch the video, and we got to watch the video. But a young Wesley Snipes is in that video, and like so it was a whole big thing. And then to see obviously the movie go from the 1960s all the way up to the 1980s, this whole relationship, and one with the dad. The only thing that I would probably say is it does obviously gloss over some of that of the controversy that we know. So at the back of my head, I was thinking, I want to see the stuff about how they made Thriller. I want to see stuff about how they did Beat It and everything. And you get to kind of see all of that. And I think you're absolutely right, Divaldo. They wouldn't have been able to do the controversial stuff. Like there's stuff that I read about where Michael Jackson, when they would go on tour, the brothers would be like shagging like lots and he'd be there.
Yeah,
he'd be there in the same room, and they would be like, "Oh, Michael, just go to bed, and he'd be there listening to all of them like having it off.
And he's young, and he's not even supposed to be seeing that. Oh my gosh,
10 years old.
But I think he's also wired a bit different in this film. I think they also show that he is wired a bit different, not in a bad way, but he's a bit different to the rest of the guys. And sometimes with greatness comes difference. And that the way he communicates, interacts with people, he prefers to interact with children rather than adults. And you kind of see a little bit, it's just a smidgen of that.
Yeah, you see the bit. Yeah, you see the bit about obviously like his fascination with animals. That's where the Bubbles turns up. You've got obviously this fascination with his skin. With the nose,
vitiligo, the condition. Yeah. Like a light complexion. They showed he's putting his gloves on. He was saying, "Oh, this helps me with it balances my shade or something." They touched on it a bit in a nice way. It wasn't like
Yeah, it was, and then obviously we don't get the stuff. What happens like later on down the line, like where he's unrecognizable from what he was from 20, 30 years ago and everything.
Yeah.
So.
There's a documentary actually that's on BBC right now, and it covers
which
that.
I want to watch.
There was a few years gap when no one saw him, and back in those days, there's no social media. If you don't want to be seen, you won't be seen. And then he came out, and he was a few shades lighter. Do you know what I mean? So that's a massive thing. But also, I want to say this film sometimes felt like a concert. When I
Yes.
went to go see the
Oh,
film, there were families in the cinema, families that I know for a fact they would not go to the cinema to watch any other film. And the
yeah.
kids were there. Some of the kids were a bit annoying, crying and all that. There were
Mm.
young girls there that I know weren't even born when he died,
Yeah.
but they knew all his songs. He
Yes.
died 16 years, 17 years ago,
Yeah.
2009.
2009.
And these girls were not even 17. I know that. And they were
No.
there. And it's like, this was an experience. I noticed
Mm.
as well, the volume was high. They
Massive.
made sure
Yeah.
that in cinema the volume was high. Sometimes on stage he's singing certain songs. You think, okay, it's going to stop now. No, the
Mm.
whole song
The
is
whole song.
it's like
I,
yeah. So
I
it's an
remember that
experience.
whole I remember that whole kind of in the 1980s that Jackson 5 and Michael Jackson tour thing. I remember watching that
Remember
like
that?
on
Is it?
no.
I
So
don't.
I remember watching it like years later, but
Okay,
that whole thing,
I didn't
and
know about that.
they
I blocked that out.
recreated that.
Mm,
And like the effort that Jafar Jackson goes into,
yeah,
like with the performances and
yeah,
everything, man, I'm telling you, the guy, he put in a shift. He puts in a
yeah.
shift.
Yeah, that's his
You
first
know,
film. I just checked IMDb. He's got nothing else. He
nothing
wanted to be
else,
a
right?
golfer when he was younger. He wanted to be a
Jeez.
golfer, but obviously with his family being in music and
Yeah.
performance, then this is what's happened. But yeah, he's got nothing else on his IMDb. This is his first film.
Yeah, exactly.
So
And then, so look, a lot of let's speak about the elephant in the room. They don't speak about the controversy that happens afterwards. The movie only
yeah,
covers up until, like, say, from the 60s, to the late 80s when he's doing
yeah,
that Wembley tour, in London. And then some people, like I've seen online, they're like, well, what about all the other stuff? And I was like, they wouldn't. They're
no,
not going to show that stuff because if you've got
that's
the
weak.
families backing and
Nah,
you've got the
no way.
music,
Yeah,
they aren't going to do that. Interestingly, though, Divaldo, the
yeah.
movie ends and there's a little bit of there's a title, and it says his
The
story
story
continued.
continues. Yeah,
So what
maybe
does
there
that
might be a
mean that
second
we're going to
part.
get?
Maybe there might be a second part that then goes further. But again, I don't see it going controversial. Also, watching the documentaries as well, you'll learn that Michael Jackson in his later years was tied to, I think it was Sony, and he had to bring out more albums, more albums.
Mm,
That's what the This Is It tour was
this is
about,
it. Tour
bringing
was, yeah.
money. So I think those moguls are still tied to this. So the
Mm,
cinema release, the money that comes to the box office, will probably go to those moguls as well. So
yeah,
this film's not going to have any controversy. It's just going to be light, entertaining, and it's going
yeah,
to be fun. Which is you're going to get that. You're going to be tapping your feet. You know, you're going to hear
exactly.
people singing in the cinema. That's it. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
so yeah,
I mean, there's like I said before, like there's we see kind of maybe probably me. I would have liked to have seen him and Quincy, him doing
okay,
with
yeah,
Quincy Jones, kind of like that collaboration, because that
yeah.
album, that Off the Wall album,
Oh man,
and that Thriller album, Divaldo,
oh,
it's iconic, man.
yeah,
The
oh,
hits on that the Off the Wall, man, seriously, for me is
yeah,
brilliant. And and then obviously you got Thriller, which we do get to see kind of like the making of the Thriller
yeah,
video a little bit, and we get all that sort of stuff. So I would love to have probably seen a bit more of that. But if you're looking for performance, man, Jafar's there. I
yeah.
just don't see how they can make the second one. Like,
Unless they just cover the bad album, or is it bad? The next album or next
you're
couple of
bad.
albums. Yeah. So apart from that, they can do the same thing and just not go too deep. I reckon
Yeah,
they could do
because
it.
it was round about the 80s, and the like kind of 92, 93 is when you started getting the kind of hearing about
Yeah, yeah,
obviously the stories and whatnot, and there's all the stuff started to come out. So I
yeah.
guess, yeah, how would they do that? But yeah, for me, if you're looking for kind of like a clean, fun movie
Mm,
and you want a taste of what it was like,
mm.
then
Watch
yeah,
it.
you
Yeah,
to go watch it.
I'm gonna watch it again, like literally soon now.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Cool.
yeah, go watch it. Go watch Michael
Yeah.
Jackson.
Go watch it. Go watch it. All right. Okay. We've got one more movie that we're going to be speaking about. This is called The Wizard of the Kremlin. And we've spoken about this, or you've spoken about this before as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
And we've had a few comments about this. So, yeah. So, Deval, take it away.
Yeah, Wizard of the Kremlin. This is about Vladimir Vladimirovich Putin.
Mm,
He's got a longer name, It's not just Vladimir Putin,
wow.
which I found out in the film. But this is a this is not going to be a long review.
Mm.
Also, my nose is sort of blocked as well, so I'm having trouble talking. But this is looking at a young Vladimir Putin and his rise to power in the Soviet
Right.
Union and into Russia as well. Vladimir Putin is played by Jude Law,
Mm.
but the actual wizard of the Kremlin is Paul Dano, who's Vadim Balanov. He's like a
Okay.
he's an influential person. Let's just say that he's come from sort of good family. He's always had a good sort of job and upbringing,
Mm.
money, influence, and he goes from like this job to that job. He goes into the media. When he's in the media, he's doing really well. He comes on the radar of politics, and then they understand that media is very influential in shaping opinions and
Mm.
stuff like that. So they kind of get Paul Dano involved to help Jude Law, Putin, who's not actually a big talker. Putin's
Okay.
he's from KGB. KGB, we don't talk. We don't
Stud.
talk. We put plutonium in your tea, and then do you know what I mean?
Stud.
And you're done.
Novichok.
Exactly. That's what they do. So you know what I mean. So he's not a big talker, not good with cameras and stuff. He's just a straight shooter.
Straight talker. Yeah.
Shoots from the hip. Yeah, few words. So they teach him how to be a bit more, camera ready and stuff like that. So it's basically about how he rises from being a sort of like a spy, sort of influential person to being the president.
Mm.
Before that,
Wow.
we had remember, Gorbachev, the guy with the
Gorbachev.
patch. When I was
Yes, I was
younger,
your. I used to think it
on
was
the
a bird
news,
like poo. Yeah.
that's all I saw. Gorbachev, the guy with
And
the
Reagan.
Reagan, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's who was there before. There's another guy there before. I can't remember his name,
Mm.
but Russia was, it was in turmoil. There was a lot going on. There was
Yeah.
terrorism happening there. There was beef, internal politics. People would just go missing. Things were not
Mad.
as, Russia doesn't play.
No.
You know what I mean? They don't play around. So when it comes to leadership, you got to be tough. If you're not
Yeah.
tough enough, someone will take you out. But this film, I'm making it sound better than it was.
Oh,
This
okay.
film, so I'm not gonna say
After all of
anymore. Yeah, so Alicia Vikander is also in this film.
okay, so good cast then.
Yeah, it's a good cast. I wanted this film to be better than it was. Jeffrey Wright's in
Okay.
this film as well. I think he's a reporter or journalist. Uh, I wanted it to be better than it was. It went
Mm.
on and on and on.
Oh gosh,
It's a
that
long film.
Ariston.
2 hours 15 minutes, and it's a bit dull at times. At some certain times, it's like okay, move the story on. Uh, this film only got one week release window in the UK.
Damn. So
That's
it's
it.
not
Yeah, so it's
really going to
out.
light the box office up, right?
No,
It's not going
no,
to.
no,
It's no.
no,
I don't think so.
no.
Also, what do you reckon Quentin Tarantino would say about Paul Dano's performance?
In this, he does a good job,
Yeah,
but I know he won't say it.
he
But in
was.
this, he
Yeah,
does a good job. He does a good job. Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
if you like politics, if you like House of Cards, if you like The West Wing, if you like all those politics,
Mm,
those political sort of dramas, you will like this film. But I don't know if you're going to get to understand Putin like you want to understand him. This doesn't give you
yeah.
too much about his early life. Doesn't give you too
Because
much, to be
because
honest.
do we know, like, is there a lot of information out there about his early life out there? Like, how, where can they draw on this information?
There's not a lot. There's not a lot. When you're KGB, no, there's not a lot. People don't know about you that much. Only when you come into public in the public eye, which I guess makes sense in that when we saw him in this film, that's when he
Mhm.
came into the public. He was no
Yeah.
longer KGB. He was in the sort of the Kremlin doing his thing. But yeah, I mean, Jude Law does look like Putin a little bit. They made him out to look like him a bit,
Yeah.
but they're all speaking in sort of English accents, if you could say.
Oh, so it's not, so they don't have like a, they're not doing, they're
No,
speaking in
no,
English,
no.
but not Russian.
Yeah, it's English accents seem to be their sort of okay. If we're not going to do the accent, we'll do a plain English accent,
Yeah.
and then that's because they're speaking Russian basically. But
Right.
we're here in
Okay.
English.
We're hearing English. What is
You know
it,
what I
Paul
mean?
Dano as well? Because he's not doing his American accent, is he?
No, he's not. No, the accents are a bit. Yeah, I think he's doing an English accent as well, if I remember right. But yeah, it's
Okay.
an interesting film. It's a bit dull. Goes on for a bit too long. I don't see this doing anything in the box office, and it's a shame it
Mm.
doesn't because this could have been done better. I think
It should have been. Yeah. It
it's a
should.
shame. It's a
It's a
shame.
shame. It is
Yeah.
definitely a shame. So. So with that one, you'd probably say keep it in the closet.
Yeah, that's where it's going to stay. It's going to come out on. I think it will come out on Disney Plus. I saw when the credits were sort of going, I saw it say in association with Disney Plus. So in the UK, it's not in the cinema anymore. We probably see it in Disney
Yeah.
Plus in a couple of months. Yeah,
Yeah. So I reckon you'd probably say it'd be human nature to not watch it.
exactly. This is not. What's that song in Moscow? What's that song he's got in Moscow? Michael Jackson.
Which is the one.
Something in Moscow. He's in the cold. Remember he's
Oh,
singing "Stranger in Moscow," isn't it?
something like that.
Is
Yeah.
that,
Jesus.
you see that
Oh
move?
my God.
Stranger
Um,
in Moscow.
oh, and he's got his jacket up and like,
Yeah.
yeah. All right. But I remember the time when, you know what, something like that would have been a good movie.
Stranger in Moscow. Yeah, exactly. And it should have been. It should have been. It really should have been, but yeah, they didn't really stick the landing.
Yeah. Yeah. You're not alone. I'm just okay. Listen, I'm going to stop referencing Michael Jackson songs. It's just the way you make me feel. Now.
Oh, well, do you remember the time when when we fell in love?
Oh gosh! All right, listen. Look, I know what my movie of the week is.
Oh, yeah,
But
definitely.
since you've seen The Wizard of Kremlin, what's your movie of the week?
Yeah, definitely Michael. Definitely Michael.
Okay, all right, brilliant. All right, brilliant. There you have it, folks. Go out and watch Michael. Let us know what you think, and if you've got a different take on it, please get in touch with us and let us know what your view is, because we would love to share that and speak about it on next week's episode. So again, keep it locked with the Flixters, folks. We're going to be back again next week, another episode. We've got this couple of stuff that's just been released on streaming. There's Apex that I want to watch, Divaldo, that's out on Netflix. We've got Exit 8 as well. That's another movie that we're going to be speaking about. So yeah, keep it locked with the Flixters, folks.
Yeah, until next week. Peace out.